G'day everyone, and thanks for stopping by today. I've got these magazines here, so I've got a Vogue and a cosmetic magazine that came as a bundle and a Frankie magazine, and I'm just going to go through and just cut out some elements. I'm going to do a collage today. So recently I've been following another fellow Aussie YouTuber by the name of Niamh Baly. I think that's how you pronounce her surname, but I'll link her channel down below. She does a lot of collaging paper dolls and that, and creating I guess like a bit like Picasso sort of images, and changing the images to what she wants to do just through collaging. So I'm just going through here and just having a bit of a look to see what's in this magazine in regards of feet, bodies and heads. So I've got this jumper here, I'm going to use that for the body, and I've also cut out some other images as well. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to use them or not, but this is my first attempt at a paper doll or a collage doll. So I've got this face here, just cutting it out, and I'm just going to fussy cut the jumper out. So I think I'm getting better at fussy cutting. I don't mind it so much. When I first started crafting, I hated fussy cutting. I absolutely loathed it. But now it's not too bad, so quite enjoying it. So just cutting that bit out, and then I'll cut out my face. Now you'll see that it's not proportioned, the body to the head, so this is what a lot of collaging these paper doll sort of things are like. I'm just going through and just looking for some feet now. So just going back through the magazine here, and Vogues and fashion magazines like this are really good to get some images like this out of. So I haven't bought a Vogue for years, but really thoroughly enjoyed it. And it came with a cosmetic magazine as well. I'm just going to say, I was reading the cosmetic book and I stumbled across an article, and it was my plastic surgeon. And I was like, oh my God, that is just so funny. So I found some feet here as well. I just thought I'd just throw that in, by the way. So got some feet here. I'm actually just fussy cutting that out, and I think this will go really, really well all together. So with the jumper and the face. Now you'll see that this is in no way, shape or form in any sort of proportion. So this is what this sort of collaging is all about. So I just need something for her head, and I'm just going to get the magazine back out, and I'm thinking of doing like a crown or something on top of a head. So I've got some flowers here that I've come across, and I'm just going to cut out just a bit of a crown. Now, like I mentioned, this is the first time that I am doing this, and I absolutely had a ton of fun. Now, that saying I haven't said for years actually, so I hope my husband doesn't see this video. He'll cringe. So having a look, yep, it looks pretty good. Just going to take a quick photo so I'll remember the angles and that. Just got some painter's tape. I'm just going to stick on the spine side here, only because this paper is just thin, and because I'm collaging, the page should actually become that little bit thicker and a bit more stable. So as you can see, I'm just spraying on some colour, and the colours that I'm going to be using are yellow, orange and purple, just for the background. So drawing in between each colour, I actually did another page and the paper was coming off, so I just ripped it out and just started again. Because this paper is so thin, I thought I really need to dry in between, because the paper was getting too wet because of the paint. So just popping down some purple and then giving this a good dry with my heat gun. Now at this stage I thought the background was too bright, so I'm just going to tone this down just using some white gesso. Just going to paint over it just randomly, and then what I'll do is I'm just going to get a baby wipe and just blend this all out. Now I am starting to really like how my background is turning out as well. So I think the colours prior to this was a little bit too bright, because I do want my focal to be my abstracty person. So I'm just going to reach for some Distress Oxide inks here, and I've just randomly picked 3, but I think I only do use 2. I'm also going through my Kaisercraft stencils here. I do have my favourite Kaisercraft stencils that I do use. So I'm going to be using this one here because I love the messy background, and I'm just going to use a blending foam brush just to add to the back of the page using these Distress Oxide inks. So this is also adding layers and adding some interest to the background as well. Now I'm just reaching out for my Memento inks, and I'm going to use Rich Cocoa, and I've got my trusty Kaisercraft script stamp here, and just going to go over the page just with this script stamp. So using second generation stamping as well, which means apply the ink, stamp it, but instead of re-inking, you stamp it again. Now I am just going to give this a dry off as well. Because I've used Distress Oxide, I need to be careful what else I apply on this page. So just putting all my elements down, and I'm going to use a glue stick today just to stick everything down. So I'm not going to use a matte medium or anything because of that oxide ink. I don't want it to move. So just applying the glue stick to the back and then sticking everything down. So I've got a Prisma watercolour pencil here, and I'm just going to go round the edges and just outline her. And I'm not being too careful because I will actually get a watercolour pencil and just blend this out. This will create some shading as well for her and some grounding. Now I'm going to start doodling. I've got a white gel pen here, and I'm just going to go around her eyes and just accentuate them a bit. I've got a black tipsy marker that I'm also going to be using as well, and I'm just going to just enjoy where this takes me. So just not thinking about it, I'm just going around and just doing a lot of doodling. Going to doodle on her crown, so I'm just going to just draw lines and just some squiggly circles just all over the crown, and just having some fun really. I also thought that I might add some paint, so just going to be painting on some hearts on her cheek as well, just with a fine brush here. Now I'm just going to draw some like cartoon hands at the end of the jumper here, and I've got a gold Sharpie pen, and I just thought I would just colour them in gold, only because it was on my table here. So really having fun pulling this together today. So I just lost a bit of video here, but I have started using a Posca pen, and I just really wanted to give some pattern to her jumper because it was just too plain. So just once again, just doing some doodling, and I'm just not thinking about it. So that's probably my biggest problem, is I overthink everything that I do when I do art journaling. So I'm just letting go. 2020 is the year to let go for me. So, and I'm having quite a bit of fun today. Just not sure where it's taking me. So I'm sort of alternating between the Posca pens, and I've got a white Posca pen here as well. So just outlining her shoes, putting some dots on, and just going for it. Just going to add some dots around her heart cheeks here as well. So I think this page is really coming together, and I have been extremely surprised with how I have pulled this together. So I will be doing quite a few of these, I think, because I've had so much fun today at doing this. Just going to do some tear shapes just coming from her eyes, and then I'll just get a black pen and just go round just so they pop off this page. Now I have come back a couple of days later and filmed this part here. So what I'm doing is I'm just going through all my rubbishy magazines that I still can't find myself throwing out. Just going to cut out some letters. So I want to put a quote just on this page here, just in the blank part. So I'm going to put, I have to try and make it happen. So that's how I wanted to do this page. I just want to really give it a go and just make it happen. Whatever happens, happens, basically. So I did really thoroughly enjoy cutting these out as well. I'm just going to glue them down with a glue stick as well, only because of that background with the oxide inks. If I use a wet glue like a gel medium or like a PVA glue, chances are that that background will smudge, and I don't want that to happen at this stage. So I have super sped this up because it's just gluing down the letters basically, and just making sure that when I glue the letters down, I'm not really too careful whether they're straight. All I'm worried about is that the words are together and that you can read them. So just to finish off this page, I'm just going to use my Prisma watercolor pencil again, just to go round the outside. Just going to use my watercolor brush, and I'm just going to smudge it into the edges as well, so just to create that bit of a border sort of a look. So that's my page finished for today, and look, I had so much fun doing this, so I know that I'll be finding myself doing some of these as well. Don't forget to check out Niamh's channel also. I'll link her channel down below in the description box. If you have enjoyed this, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for up and coming videos. And until next time, happy crafting. See ya!